Okay, so what we'll be doing here is I'll try to load. Okay, we'll create a new VirtualBox, a new VM image. Now, as we talked about yesterday, what we need is, for us to actually explore the entire cluster capability, we need to build a multi-node cluster. Okay, a multi-node cluster will be in terms of these many nodes, but I know the limitations of you guys. Some of you may have the ability to create and some of you may not be having the ability to create. So what we'll do is we'll stick to three clusters, three servers. Okay, just plain we'll start with three servers. As you mature enough, you can start adding in additional servers to the cluster. Okay. Now, basically, you'll not have everything what I'm seeing on my VirtualBox on the left side. So click on New first. Okay. So first of all, you're going and downloading an Oracle VirtualBox Manager from the link which I showed you yesterday. Once you download the Oracle VirtualBox Manager, you will click on New. Okay. So here you give a name for this. Okay. The name would be, let's say, Hadoop. I would say Hadoop 1 is what I'm actually giving, or give it a server name. Okay, let's say give it as a server 1. Okay, what server I'm doing, we'll never use Windows because it's I'm not sure if I told before, but Hadoop is purely a Java-based framework. Okay, Hadoop is primarily a Java-based framework and primarily built for open source operating system like your Linux. Okay, so here in the type here, you choose Linux. Okay, you choose Linux. Now towards the bottom, you will have version. Okay, and this version you go and choose other Linux 64-bit. This is the first step you do. Then click on Continue. Now this is where you are building up. Okay, you allocate the memory for your server. So basically what we are doing here is we are actually procuring a new hardware. Okay, imagine that in your organization you want to procure a new server. Okay, you say you raise a request for a new server. Now when you raise a request for a new server, what they will ask a lot of questions. What is the operating system you are using? Okay, what is the OS? What is the OS you need to use? What is the bit version? Is it 32-bit version, 64-bit version, and how much memory it should have, right? So this is the place where I'm indicating that I would need to have about 1 GB of a memory, okay, for my server. So what basically we are doing is we are basically building a bare bone hardware. Okay, it's just a server we are building. We are building one server, and in the server we are deciding what this server will be having in, what components each of this server will contain. Okay, the operating system, how many bit is it? Is it 32-bit, 64-bit, and how much RAM it should have, right? Once you decide on the RAM, I'm saying I will give 1 GB of RAM. Click on Continue. Okay, here is where you say create a virtual hard disk now. Okay, choose the middle option, which is creating a virtual hard disk. Okay, a virtual hard disk is a disk for this particular. Okay, this is a virtual image is what we are creating. So your virtual image, okay, your VM should also have a disk. So that is what we are indicating here. So click on the middle option and then say click on create. Okay, now in this screen it will ask you what kind of a hard disk you need to have. Always choose VMDK, okay, which is a virtual machine disk. With the VMDK option, it is easy for you to move across multiple machines. Say for example, you are using 2 different machines. Now you want to run this across multiple machines. You can easily copy this VMDK file from one machine into another machine. So it makes things easier for you. So click on VMDK and say continue. Now this screen is asking storage on physical hard disk. So choose dynamically allocated and click continue. Now this is a server name and how much disk space. Okay, basically you start with a 15 GB of a disk for this server. Okay, typically in our environment, in what we are building up, we just need 15 GB because everything will be downloading from open source and we'll install it here. So 15 GB is enough, and click on create over here. Okay, now what I have here is, this is what server 1 is what I have just created. Okay, right click on this server 1 and say start. Okay, or basically you just highlight this. Okay, let me pull this out of here so that you don't have any confusion. Okay, this is the server 1 you have. Now, if you have not set up anything, you will only see server 1. Highlight it and click on Start. Okay, highlight this and click on Start. So this is getting started now. Now what it says is right now, it says fatal, no bootable medium found, system is halted. That means what we have done right now is we have just assembled my hardware without installing any OS on that. So without your OS, the hardware will never come up, right? So your hardware is not coming up. It needs a bootable medium, right? So this bootable medium is not found. So it is just halting there. So it cannot go any further. So what we'll do here is we will try to install the operating system into it. Now for the operating system, what I showed you yesterday was to download your CentOS, right? So if you say CentOS.org, and from here go to CentOS now and click on this everything ISO, which is what I showed you yesterday, and you will have many mirror sites. So when you have a lot of links over here, so all these links will be pointing into the same ISO image, which is the latest version is CentOS 7, and it's a 64-bit version. So just click on this and it will download you the ISO image, which is of about 7 GB file. Okay, so once you have this downloaded, you will have an ISO image file. Now, what do you do with this ISO image file? You will load that ISO image file into the server that we have just built. Right? So how would I do that? So once I right click on this, you have a storage option here. Click on the storage option. Okay, click on the storage option. Highlight this last disk, which is the ISO. Basically, I don't want this guest editions. So I click on this, and there is a CD icon towards the right corner here, towards the right side. Click on it and choose the ISO that you have just downloaded. Okay, so this is where I have chosen this ISO. So which is, let me see where it is on my machine, right? So it's .iso. Right. So this is what I have downloaded. Okay, CentOS ISO image, and this is made of this file is made up of almost 7.7 GB file. Okay, it's a 7 GB file which I have downloaded and installed is on my local machine. This ISO image I am actually loading in here. Okay, so now it's loaded over here. Okay, and I will just say click on OK. Now highlight this again and click on Start. Now earlier, if you remember, we have seen an error message there. It is indicating no bootable medium found, but now it is saying install the CentOS. Okay, it is asking you to install. So you can test it out, you can do a troubleshoot or any of this. So I'm straight away going with install CentOS 7. So this will go through a lot of steps, and it's all what we are trying to do is GUI mode of installation. So once you are here, once the GUI starts, once the GUI starts, it will give you a lot of other options. Okay, and that's the easiest way you install it, right? So choose your English language and click on Continue. Now in the installation summary screen, it will indicate, what's the time zone you are in, what is the language, what is the security policy. You can always go with the default settings. Don't need to change anything unless you are asked to change. In this case, it is saying for some reason it is not being recognized. The disk is not being recognized. So I just click on highlight it, click a couple of times and say done. Okay, so my warning is gone. Make sure there are no warnings here. Okay, the warning messages are all gone, and click on begin installation. Now it's starting to do an installation. So if you see here, this will indicate to you, okay, where my mouse is hovering. This will indicate to you it is trying to create the base, okay, the packages. It need to unpack. So we have an ISO image which is made up of 7 GB. This 7 GB ISO should be unpacked and installed. It's like your zip file, right? It's like your RAR file. So your archive file, you're taking it out and installing it. So now you also have the root password here. Set the root password. Always make sure you know the root password. And say done. Oops. One second, guys. Let's redo this part here. So install CentOS. So this is unpacking it right now. It is just doing a bootstrap loading now. Click on continue. One thing I missed showing you is this part. Okay, you highlight it. Yeah, towards the right side you have a software selection, which is, it says minimal installation. So don't do a minimal installation. Go with a server with GUI. Okay, so by default it will show you minimal installation. So don't do a minimal, just go with server with GUI. There are some advantages with that because you can do a GUI mode of installation. Okay, that really will be helpful for you. So it says no disk is highlighted. So I'm clicking on done. Reclaim space here. And say begin installation. Now the install process is being done. Now what you see here is root password is not set. Okay, go ahead and set the root password and make sure you remember this password. Say done. And it's also saying no user will be created. Okay, so user addition we'll see later. Okay, I'll add it to our notes here out in one of the important points. How to create a file and folder for the file system space, how to create a user and a group. Okay, so how to create a Linux, I would say, a Linux user and a group, how to create a file folder, how to change file folder permissions. Okay, perfect. Now if you see here, it has got 1243 packages. Okay, so we'll wait for these packages to unpack and do the installation. So all the OS installation is being done now. You don't need to worry about anything else. Okay, so you have a VM player. On the VM player, you start doing the extracting your ISO image. Okay, your ISO image is being extracted here, and it will take some time because we had about right now 1243 packages needs to be installed, and we had only 150 installed right now. So you guys, I mean, can you do this simultaneously while I'm doing? You can also try to do it right now. In case you're encountering any issues, I can guide you on how to fix it. We have about 1140 2 packages out of 1,243 installed. So we still have roughly 100 packages to be installed. Hey guys, you can hear me now? Okay, so Kalyan was asking what is the purpose of QuickStart, right? The QuickStart is a VM which has got everything that we are building in right now, right? So along with all our installations, so it has everything installed in that. So you don't need to do any installations. All this you don't need to worry about it. So what we'll do here is it says license is not accepted. Okay, accept the license and click on done. And here it will indicate to us finish the configuration. It will do a reboot. Now this is the first time I'm logging after the installation. Choose a time zone. Okay, let's say this is New Jersey. It will be the same timing that we have. Say next. About yourself, I give my name as a Hadoop. Okay, say next. The password. So this is a non-root user ID, guys. So I'll show you one more way on how to use a non-root user ID. Okay, so you can basically go use any of this. I'm just closing this, I don't need. So what you do here is, this is what your CentOS looks like. Okay, similar to your Windows, so this comes with all GUI now. Now once it is available, click on, just do a right click here and you say click on open in terminal. Okay, open in terminal. Some of the commands that I want you guys to learn, practice is what is the host name. Right, the host name is telling me localhost.local domain. Okay, now I need to change this. I'm saying it's a server 1. Okay, I need to modify this host name. Now basically I logged in with what ID? I want to see with which user ID I have logged in. Okay, it is indicating me it's a Hadoop login. Now I want to switch to a root user. Okay, I want to log in as a root user. So like this is how it is. The permissioning levels are, for a root user is similar to your administrator account on your Windows. Okay, and this ID Hadoop which I am logged in right now is like a non-admin account which has got some restricted privileges. Okay, and it has got some permissions settings there. Now if you have to switch user, you can simply do su switch user. I'm doing as a root user. Now it will ask you to type in the password here. Right, the password is what? This is the password that we have set when we actually started doing the installation. So once you're give the password, your prompt has changed here. Now if I type who am I, okay, it will tell me I'm a root user. Right, I'm a root user. Now root user is something similar to your administrator account on your Windows, and it has got all the permissions. You can do anything. Okay, as a root user, you have got absolute permissions and there are no restrictions as such. Everything can be done, performed by you. Now once I am with a root user, I want to create a new account. Okay, so now you need to understand when you create a new account, what will happen, right? So how do you create a new account? Basically, there are multiple ways. The easiest way is type in user add. Okay, user add, say I want to create my own user ID, say Kumar. Okay, I'm creating a user ID Kumar. Now if I say ID Kumar, okay, I have a new user ID created. Along with that, there is also a group created. Okay, one of the things I wanted you guys to tell me tomorrow is, okay, how to create a Linux user and a group. Okay, so let me add it here. So how to change a user's group, okay, from an existing group to a new group. Okay, So how do you change this existing group? Now this is what I have a user Kumar is created right now. Okay. So now if I want to switch user, so if I log in as SU Kumar. Okay. Now I'm logged in here as earlier initially I'm logged in as Hadoop. Okay. Then I logged in as a privileged user which is root. And now as a root user I created some new user, and then finally I'm logging with that new user. Okay. Now when I'm logged in here, I can do a PWD. PWD is what? It is my present working directory. Okay. PWD is my present working directory, and my present working directory is /home/Kumar. Okay, /home/Kumar. That's what the file system I'm talking about. Okay, so how the file system is structured. So if you go into root file system, so how do you change your directory, or how do you change from one place to another place? You do CD, right? I mean, similar to your DOS prompt commands, your CD is change directory. You do a CD / okay, which is my root file system, and if I want to see the contents over here, what are the contents in my root file system? I would do ls, okay, or ls-l. ls is a long listing, okay, is a listing of your commands, or sorry, is a listing of your files and folders which are existing on your root file system. So this is a structure, okay. This is the basic structure of my file system, of my root file system. So I want one of you tomorrow to explain to the group, the class, what significance each of these directories will be playing. Okay, what each of these directories, why is it called a bin, why is it called a boot, why is it called a dev, why is it called etc, what is the purpose of home, what is the purpose of lib64, okay, what is the difference between library and library64, what is a mnt, what is a opt, what is an sbin, okay, what is a temp, what is user, what is var, what does this contain. Okay, so one of you will take the lead tomorrow and tell the audience what exactly this file structure is all about. Okay, so that's how the file system is all set up. Okay, and once you have your system set up, the next thing is I created my user ID, which right now I'm logged in as what? I'm logged in as a Kumar user ID. I can switch into, okay, I can switch user from Kumar into Hadoop user. Now it is prompting me to enter the password. Okay, it is prompting me to enter the password. Once I enter the password, I will log into user Hadoop. Okay, user Hadoop. Another thing I want you to do is, how do I change the host name? Okay, I want to change the host name from localhost. Right now, if I say host name, it is telling me it's a localhost.local domain. I want you to tell me, how do I permanently change my host name? Okay, so if I say root user, I'm logging as a root user. I can simply say host name, I type in server 1. Okay. Now if I type host name, it will tell me the server 1 is the name of the server. Okay, I can switch in as Kumar. It is telling me it's a server 1. Okay, but if I restart, this will come back again to what it is showing as, okay, localhost.local domain. So tomorrow you tell me, like, how do you persist this server 1 even though a restart happens? There's a file entry which you need to modify. Okay. Now some of the stuff I wanted to talk about, file space system, right? So how do you see the file space system? So disk file system, if I say df-k, this is indicating to me what are all the file systems available and how much disk space is allocated, okay, is available, is used, and how much use percentage it is. All right. So where these are mounts, what is a mount point? Okay, you need to understand what is a mount point, what is a NAS, what is a SAN, what is a tempfs. Okay, how do you mount a file system? So all these things you need to be understanding those. So these are something which basically, I mean, you are expected to understand, you are expected to learn, because these things will definitely help you when you are attending these interviews. Okay, most of the interview questions right now are not based on your knowledge. Okay, they are based on your technical day-to-day activities. So these are something which you day-to-day as a developer or as an administrator you would encounter this, and you require to, I mean, navigate through your Linux system, and you need to have the skill set to actually sustain any kind of a Hadoop market. Okay. So then what else? What else with Unix? So the VI commands I was talking about. So how do you create a new files? Okay. Right now I am in this home Kumar directory. If I say ls-l, there is nothing right now. So I need to create a new file here. I would say vi first.txt file. I'm creating a text file. Okay, I'm creating a small text file. Now in here, I want to say just type in something like how do you update the file contents? This is something which you need to understand. This is a VI editor. In the VI editor, you need to know the VI editor skills. Okay, if you see right now, this is in command mode, right? It is in a command mode. It is ready to accept the command. If you notice here, now I type I on my keyboard. It's changed to insert mode. That means I can type anything. This is a test file to test my Linux skills. Okay, I'm typing something. Right now, it's at this point of time, it is still in the command mode. I will press escape. Now your insert, sorry, it was in insert mode. I'll press escape. The insert mode is gone. It came back to the command mode. Now I want to save this file. Okay, how do you save the file? :WQ. Okay, I will write and quit. :WQ is write and quit the file. So I'm coming out of the file. Now if I say ls-l here, it will indicate to me my first.txt is existing. What is the time it has been created? It has been created just now. Okay, a few seconds back. That's what the timestamp shows here. And how do you see the timestamp on your Linux machine? You type the date command. Okay, so this is telling me this is the file timestamp. Sorry, this is a timestamp on the system. This is indicating what time the file is accessed. Okay, now I can also do a cat, like you are catenating onto the output, standard output. I say first.txt. It will tell me this is a test file, test my Linux skills. Right? This is the output of this file. Now, what else? Now the permissions. Right? I was asking about the permissions. So the permissions are here, which is indicating first one is a minus, then R, W, minus, R, W, minus, R, minus, minus. So what this signifies, what each of these minus or what each of these dash has got a specific meaning for that, what it signifies, what it signifies, you need to tell me tomorrow. Okay, so let's stop now. It's almost 11 o'clock. I know it's too late. So let's stop for today. And I think most of the stuff that I've been asking someone to take the lead. So Pavani will guide the class tomorrow. So I mean, the first 10 minutes she will take care of it, and she will tell us on what we are doing. And we'll also do a quick recap of whatever we have learned today. Okay, and I will upload this slide